Hey, so today I want to talk about the recent Nintendo Direct that happened a few days ago. This video's going up a few days after it already happened, so views for it are pretty much completely dried up. I still want to get my thoughts out. So first up we had Fire Emblem Engage, which I'm a pretty big Fire Emblem fan. I haven't really played a ton of the game just because they're long, they're really difficult, but like I played like half of them, and so half of the total ones, including ones not released in the US officially. And I really like the series, so I was super interested to see the next game, and I really thought we were going to get an FE4 remake, which I was pretty excited for. It looks like that's not the case. And we got Fire Emblem Engage, which is, like, honestly, the graphics, they're still not very good, I'm just going to be honest. I guess I just have to accept that about Fire Emblem, but the gameplay itself is so great that I'm willing to accept that. Pokemon should take some notes, if you know what I mean. And so, I at first thought this was some sort of mobile game, obviously because of the graphics, but also because of the, the gacha-looking mechanics with older characters from old games, so I was getting really worried. And the title of Engage does not sound like a new mainline game, although I guess it's like Three Houses, like the title seems bad, but you just kind of get used to it over time. But anyways, this looks like a more traditional Fire Emblem, which I kind of like, because I really liked Three Houses, it's like sim mechanics on a first playthrough, and on a second and third one I was like, just want to get through this and play the actual game. Like, I don't think you need to completely remove them, but you need to seriously reduce the time you spend in them. Like, you spend way too much time in those sim mechanics in Three Houses, and I also don't like that you need to play the game multiple times anyways. So yeah, I haven't talked about the actual gameplay of this one, but it looks like traditional Fire Emblem, which I think is I think it's nice to have a traditional game, and say that I do mean that I do really like Three Houses. It's just more experimental mechanics I think could be refined. I do like going back to more traditional structure. So yeah, gameplay looks great. I have no doubt it'll be a great game. Three Houses, the story was also very good, so I'm expecting high quality from here. Though who knows, we also had Fates fairly recently, so it could be garbage, but whatever. I think this game is great. I'm very excited for it. Definitely be covering it when it comes out. And yeah, that's a great game. Great way to start off the Direct. Next up, we had some Xenoblade 3 DLC. And Xenoblade 3 is a game that, I've played it for about 13 hours. But I just kind of dropped it and I didn't come back to it. Not because it's a bad game, it's a great game. Just other things came up to do, so I kind of dropped it. I should go back to it though. Although this isn't any major DLC, I just wanted to cover it. It's cool. Adding a new character, which is significantly more than what they added in the first wave for Xenoblade 2, so yeah, that's exciting. Also, I'm gonna note right here, from now on, if there's a game I don't care about, I'm just not gonna cover it. It doesn't mean I hate the game, it just means I don't care about it, or I haven't really been invested in the series yet, so yeah, just letting you know. Moving on. We had the announcement of the first Splatfest for the full version of Splatoon 3, and Splatoon 3 is like, they didn't change enough about it. I mean, no, they did change a decent amount. Like, I still want to get the game, but, like, obviously, I haven't bought the game yet. I'm meaning to. I definitely will now, by the time the Splatfest comes up. So yeah, I'm excited to play it. It's just, it doesn't look like it's changed dramatically since 2, so I wasn't, like, rushing out to buy it day 1 or anything. The game's been extremely successful, and I'm excited to play it, so, yeah, good for it. Next up, we had Octopath Traveler 2, and this is really cool, like, I think the first one was a very good looking game visually, and it also had great battle mechanics. However, I do think in terms of just setting and story, it did play it very safe, which is fine. It was clearly referencing old school Final Fantasy, but I think with the sequel, they're really, just from the trailer, you can tell they're really expanding here. It looks more like a kind of, I guess, I don't know if this is right, but like a steampunk kind of setting, which I think is very interesting. Definitely something more games should do, and yeah, this is like super cool. Although I never actually beat Octopath 1. Again, it's an RPG, it's super long, but like with other RPGs, I'll set it down for like a month or two, and it'll come back, and I'll be able to pick up right where I left off. But with how open Octopath is, I can't really do that, so every time I come back to the game, I have to restart, and eventually I haven't picked the game back up in like a year and a half. I've forgotten everything that's going on in it, so I'd have to restart, and usually whenever games are coming out, I always say, sequels are coming out, I always say, I'm gonna finish the first game, in the time before this one comes out, and then I just never do, so I'm not gonna say that this time. I'll get to it whenever I finish Octopath 1, and it's coming out in February, like, that's pretty much unheard of for a game that's, this is a pretty big game, like, It's pretty much unheard of. So yeah, extremely cool announcement, and I'll play it whenever I finish the first game. After that, we have Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and this is just, yeah, I'm super hyped for this game. Like, I know the Rabbids suck, okay? Yeah, we'll agree with that. Like, they killed one of the best platforming series of all time, Rayman, and I cannot forgive these fictional characters for that, but like, they're annoying, but, you know, these games are just, the first one, that was a great game. Um, Fairly challenging, actually, although I didn't have much experience with strategy RPGs when it came out, so who knows, I might just be imagining that, because I wasn't very good when the first game came out, but, yeah, it was a really good. Animation quality was extremely good, game looked great, the combat was super fun, you know, the story wasn't anything special, but they did allow it to be more creative than Paper Mario, which, I don't know how I feel about that, but anyways, the sequel just looks like most Nintendo games now. Nintendo is such an archaic company that I always just say, oh, it looks great, but this is a game that I don't have any buts about. Like, this is just a game that looks solidly great. I really like what they're doing. This is like the right way to do a sequel from how it looks. Like, they're improving on the game greatly. They're changing a lot of things that didn't work. They're making the worlds way more creative, but they're not like changing it too drastically to where it becomes like completely unrecognizable, right? So I'm just straight up hyped for this game. This game looks great. And it comes out about a month from now, so yeah, super excited to play that game. And they didn't show much new here, but I'm fine with that just because this game looks really good. Next up we had GoldenEye, finally coming to N64 Online, and GoldenEye is a game that I don't really care about all that much. Obviously, I wasn't around when the game came out, and also just not that huge into FPSs. There are exceptions like Doom. It's a great game. I really like Halo. I'm not like super deep into FPS games or anything. So I think this is more so cool just for like historical aspect of it. Like GoldenEye is such a hugely important game to gaming history, and just the fact that it's been unavailable on modern consoles for so long is absolutely ridiculous, and it's really glad to see it come back, and it's coming to Xbox too, which is very exciting. Well, no online multiplayer, which is really cringe, honestly. Like, Nintendo should not be so stingy with their rights. We also had some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, and pretty much everyone seems to be super excited about this. I personally find the quality of the tracks, quality of the graphics just completely unacceptable, because it looks worse than Mario Kart 8, base Mario Kart 8, which came out in 2014, so yeah, this is just unacceptable to me. Like, I might check it out once the whole thing is done, but I don't know, right now, no, I'm very disappointed with this, and I'm not buying it as of right now. When Miyamoto came out and started talking about the Mario movie, that we were going to get a trailer, we did not. That's fine, I'm not really that invested in it, but he came out and he said, we're going to talk about Pikmin now, which I got very excited, and he showed off Pikmin Bloom for 3 minutes, which is like the Pokemon Go type mobile game, which I just don't care about. And then he actually did show Pikmin 4. However, I have a bit of a different reaction to this than most people seem to. I'm not exactly a huge fan of what they showed, because if Pikmin 4 had never been announced before, this would be incredible. I would be insanely hyped. Pikmin 3 is a fantastic game, absolutely go check that out. But this isn't the first time Pikmin 4 has been announced. Pikmin 4 was announced all the way back in 2016, and outside of the possible release date of 2023, like, it's just a year. Like, it could very easily slip to 2024, even 2025, right? We didn't find out much about this game. Really, we still barely know anything about it. We know as much about what the game will actually be like as we did back in 2016. The game was never canceled or anything, so it's just like, oh well, you just kind of reconfirm that it exists. Like, I don't know. I don't really see this being super excited, but I'm clearly in a very vocal minority there. Everyone seems to be super thrilled about this, which may just be because they forgot. That was a long time ago. Probably a decent amount of Nintendo fans weren't even following this news back then when it happened, so yeah, you know, I'm in the minority on that, but I'm just not super thrilled about what they showed off for Pikmin 4. So we had Bayonetta 3, and I mean, I'm super excited for this game. Bayonetta 2, fantastic game. Bayonetta 1, also a great game. And I just, like, I I don't know. I don't want to see more of this game because it's like seeing content from like a Nintendo platform. Or like just stop. Like that makes it sound like I don't care about the games, but it's because I do so much that I don't want to see anything because these are short games. These games are only like 15 hours at the maximum, so I just don't want them showing off all the game before it comes out, and then playing there's not much new there, right? So yeah, super excited for the game. Just don't want them to show off any more of it. I just want to keep playing the game. Right? Announced Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which is a remake of, well, not a remake, remaster of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which is a fantastic 2D platform. Absolutely go play it. Would have preferred them to do Plant Robot from the 3DS because, one, I think it's just a way better game. Fantastic game, one of the best 2D platformers out, honestly. Like, it's great, and it's also a 3DS game, so it can benefit more from graphical improvement over a Wii game, just based on resolution, power, right? And, this is still really exciting, though, because they're actually going in, updating the textures. It would have been more exciting, I think, if they would have gone in and fully remade the game on Star Allies' engine, but that's not, like, in the scope of this. It's clearly more of a remaster instead of a remake or anything. However, I don't think this game is appropriately priced. If this was remade in Star Allies' engine, and it was a full remake, I still think $60 would not be justified. This is an old game. However, this is a remaster, and a very good remaster. They're clearly doing a lot of work on the textures. That's very cool. However, it's still just a remaster, and they're charging full price for it. This is really, no. Like, I guess they did the same thing with Skyward Sword, but that's a significantly longer game, right? You are getting more value for your money there. I don't know. Honestly, I like Kirby so much. I'll probably still end up picking this up like I did with 3D All-Stars. But, like, honestly, if you're not a huge Kirby fan like I am, I would honestly recommend just skipping this or playing the Wii version because that $60 is just, no, that is really way too expensive. Final announcement, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, now Tears of the Kingdom. That's going to take a while to get adjusted to. However, I have a less positive view on this game than everyone else does. Like, this seems like, not even from the Nintendo community, just the gaming community in general, is like universal. Just, this is the most anticipated game ever. Like, this game is so hyped. I've seen more hype for this game than I've seen for the original Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't know, this game is just absolutely explosive hype. However, I don't know, they haven't shown off enough. First off, I want to say, bad way to end the direct. I know it's Zelda, I know it's a title reveal, but one, it's a title reveal. It doesn't reveal that much about the game, and also they barely showed off anything new. They showed less here than they did in the E3 presentation from over a year ago. Like, and also just the general idea of reusing a map in a game, in a full price game, 6+ years later. I think that's just, I don't know, it's kind of lame. Like, even if you spend half the game in the sky, which I think that's being super generous, you're still reusing a lot of content. Like, I don't know. People are going to get the impression that I hate the game by me saying this, but I'm just kind of disappointed. Like, I want them to do more with the series. Like, with between Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, massive change, and that was a 6-year gap as well. So I think they could have done more, right? So yeah, I am semi-disappointed in it. However, I'm still sure it'll be a very solid game. And I should also say they should have released it. This is all the game that doesn't matter. It's not going to make that release date. If it does, I'll be happy. If it doesn't, I won't be surprised. Yeah, so anyways, that's my thoughts on the Direct. Overall,